Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to Petty Time with Petty Murphy here at Akata News Network. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we have for you a bit of a show. And what we want to show you is how things go on in corporate America or nonprofit or even at your local hospital with the staff and how management uses what they call processes, procedures, and protocol to play their silly little mind games, or as some people like to call gaslighting 101. Now, what we have for you today is what we call a rehab attendant, meaning where one of the managers, our own Jennifer DEI Galnar, Jennifer Pennifer Penny, didn't follow the protocol and caused a complete clusterfuck of a situation at the job. And when it was brought up during one of the weekly meetings with the staff, well, you know, management does what management does and authority backs authority. Isn't that correct, Johnny boy? Calm down, Petty, calm down. Let's stick to the script. Well, what you're going to see here is that even when not pointed out, the guilty always expose themselves for their cowardly behavior. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get over to this late breaking news and show you exactly how they act like they don't know the policies and procedures that their dumbass is right. And with that, we say, breaking news.
Want to put it together? Oh, wow.
That's all we need to like get things done.
That's great. All right, that's all we got. Okay. Have a good day, everybody.
Well, I have a question. So this is the proper workflow and the protocol, correct? Per management.
Yes, it's on. Yes.
Okay. The only reason I'm asking is because we have had an ongoing workflow that was set up through management, and I brought this up before, and last time. Well, let me not preface that. I'm sorry. Let me start over. I have brought it up in the past, so I wanted to touch on it again because I have two instances where I can show where the protocol that has been set up forth by management is not being followed by management, and it's causing a hostile work environment between the rehab attendants. So I brought it up last time when Jenny came and brought up in the meeting that I was calling over the radio, and instead of calling over the radio, I needed to go walk and find the individual, being that their radio was off. So that's fine. So we fast forward, and it was a week later on a Friday, I'm cleaning the hydroculators. So I told them I'd be off the floor. Intake's calling and calling. No one picked up the radio, maybe they didn't hear it. That's fine. So she comes in the back with Tonya and sees me cleaning the hydroculator, to which Tonya says, oh, well, if he's cleaning the hydroculator, that means he's off the floor. It's supposed to follow protocol, but she knew the protocol, which means it goes to the south side. But Jennifer walked through the door, the north side, and told Elliot it was his responsibility to answer the radio. But that's not the protocol. So what happens is that when we, as a collective, we talk amongst ourselves, when the management doesn't follow the protocol that one of us has stated, well, no, this is the protocol, and then management doubles down on the negative behavior, then the negative behavior is then reinforced because those individuals think that they're actually correct because management is not following the exact protocol that they've written. That they've written. Who? Well, yeah, I said it in a moment.
But did you have a conversation with her after?
Well, I haven't had a chance, but this is the first meeting, so I'm bringing it up against all so that we can have it all at once.
Right, but so I wasn't there.
No, I understand.
Right, so you know, again, like having that conversation with Jenny might be helpful to get a better understanding. The other thing is too, like I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong too, but maybe you guys can help. I don't know if that's the protocol, that if the hand room RA doesn't answer the radio, or if they're busy, it goes to the south side. Is that explicitly said in here, or is it everybody's responsibility to answer the radio?
That's always been the protocol.
I thought it was everybody's responsibility to answer the radio.
No, the protocol was that the hand, because remember, we tried to switch, we just had a meeting. Am I tweaking?
Yeah,
Has that not always been the protocol, or am I tweaking?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
the fault, right? Like, it actually does.
Thank
say
you.
that on the
Thank you.
patient. The
Okay.
fault is if north or south patient can't in that moment, then the south person is then responsible to let the front desk know
Yes.
that.
But that's always been the protocol. That's what y'all set up, John.
That's different. That's when you're looking for a patient. Right?
Remember for a
This-
PT.
No, but that's the radio protocol, period. It's always been like that.
It makes a lot of sense that, like, if that's.
Why is it every time we do this, they act like they don't know what I'm talking about?
Is the south
We're
side.
just talking it
and
through.
other
We're just
people aren't.
kind of talking this through, right? And
But
so
this is-
I just want to make sure that I'm understanding. So, yes, I understand that too. But in this particular protocol here, it's two different scenarios, right? So, yes, maybe we can look at it and say, maybe for both scenarios, it's the same process, that the south side picks up the radio if.
John, we had this conversation. The reason that we actually went to that protocol, I can go get the emails if you like, was because when I was in a meeting with you, Jenny, and Debbie,
Right.
and the hydroculators didn't get done, they tried to say it was my fault, and I said, but I was releasing off the floor. And we had this long back and forth, all of us. And then it was stated 4- whatever, this is the protocol. And that's when that protocol was made. So this is nothing new. This is something that has always been etched in stone per you guys because of what happened with the meeting that we had today when me and Maggie was upstairs with you all. So this goes back 2 years.
Can I just say something that's
Yes.
like not meant to be argumentative or anything? I think one thing that's missing in this write-up,
Mm-hmm.
it does not say if the hand room rehab attendant doesn't answer, it doesn't say in here
Mm-hmm.
who the default is. And I think, like, if
In
we
this
can
one,
agree on
but
that,
before this one, it did state that, which means that the
That's all I was
date.
saying.
No, okay, that's fine. But my question is back to what I was initially stating. The date in question, that was the default protocol, which means when she came through that door and told him to answer the radio instead of going south side, she was still reinforcing the wrong protocol as a manager.
When was this taken from?
this was taken from a 1024 huddle. that
Yeah,
was-
somebody's referring to, like, prior to the expansion, yeah, and then this was written out after the expansion with the waiting room where it currently is to try to make sure.
But we agreed on the new protocol when we switched.
And without.
Thank you, Elliot.
Without additional information not being there either, I would say, I've done this before.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna make an excuse for Jenny or explain something because I wasn't there, but I've definitely forgotten something and done it at the old way.
No, I understand that,
In
but
the
my
moment,
point is
because
that
that's what you-
since we've had the new construction, we've had multiple meetings and huddles about the new workflow.
But it did
And
say this.
no,
It
but
left
what
it
I'm
that
saying
way.
is, no, I understand that, but what we had already agreed upon was that, because at one point we were talking about maybe the floater should answer the radio. So the last agreement that we all agreed on was that it would stay the hand room's responsibility to make the initial answer of the radio. If that person does not answer or is not available, or if it's a patient that is in the office or on the gym side, then it defaults to the south side. If there was no one in the hand room, then it automatically defaulted to the south side. That was the protocol that we all agreed on, and it's not being followed by management is my point. So no matter how you try to swing it, flip it, or twist it, it is the same thing. There's no way around it.
It's not in these minutes, and I don't want to go back and forth, but I think the point that we need to just clarify for everyone is that we agree as a team, if there's no answer to the radio, it's the south side. Whether or not we did it already, sometimes you need to repeat things. We can agree it's the south side. The bottom line is that this is about patient care. It's patient first. And if I'm going to come out because nobody's answering the radio, I'm not looking to get someone in trouble for not answering the radio. I am looking to get the patient what they need. And that is the bottom line.
That's a
And if
fact.
it's not clear,
But without order, there's chaos. And if the people enforcing the rules aren't following the rules, what example does that set for everybody at the bottom of the totem pole?
Well, I think the point that you're bringing up, Monty, is like there is a room for clarification that needs to be had, and we should have that.
No, I agree with that, Laura, but what no one's actually paying attention, or how I'm perceiving it, is that every time one of us say what's going on in here, in the meeting, we get the same response. It's either the first time that we're hearing about it, or no, we weren't that clear. It just happened right now in real time. Everybody else knows what the protocol is. But he just sat there and said, oh, no, it wasn't, because it's not here.
It's not in the protocol as written, so that was the point. What John is making and Laura and Heather are agreeing to. It's
That's not what
anything that's written that we're holding on.
So now we're playing word games and semantics, because that's not what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about prior to that moment, we had a set protocol that everyone agreed upon. And then when it was time to enforce said protocol, the manager who was responsible for enforcing it did not follow it. Did that or did that not happen? Am I wrong?
I think it's not clear to everybody that that is the protocol that we should be following.
So then what? It was clear to everybody else. It was clear to all the rehab attendants. It's not clear to management. That's the problem.
I'm also not clear that anybody is trying to enforce the protocol as opposed to just asking a question, because, like, again, it wasn't there. But if she's just asking a question, hey, did somebody hear the radio, or did you hear the radio? You know, I think at that point, again, the patient is waiting, right, to be sent back, or whatever the case is, and so the patient does come first, and so...
John, we have all acknowledged that, but if we keep having the same issue over and over and over, the core of the issue is not being addressed. So we're going to continue to have this conversation that we've been having for 13 years. So when are we going to address the issue? Or am I wrong for asking that question? Because if I am, I'll shut up, and I won't bring it up ever again.
So what it sounds like, though, Mike, is that you're bringing up something that is specific to Jenny, and Jenny's not here.
No, it's not specific to Jenny. I use that as a reference point to illustrate what I'm trying to say. That's the only reason I brought that up, because it happened more than once, which means it's a pattern, but it happens, and it's not just her, but I'll let it go, because I made sure to document all the instances. That's why I'm bringing it up, because I know that what I'm saying, I know that I can justify what I'm saying with factual proof. That's why I'm saying it. The only reason I'm saying it.
Okay, so we'll bring it back to the management team.
And I think also we could just write in this updated workflow, which has been in place since October, and we all agreed upon, we will update that the south person is responsible in the event that for whatever reason the hand room is not covered. Okay?
But always knowing that the patient comes first, that's the most important thing, is that they get what they need, and that we can't make a rule for every single situation.
But Fiona, no one's ever disputed that the patients don't come first. But what we're asking is...
Can I speak without an interruption? We can't legislate for every single circumstance. There's always going to be a situation that we don't have a rule for, and that's why we're asking that everybody have their radio on, and, you know, if you can help in the moment, you help in the moment, because we all want good patient care and not having to keep them waiting.
And that's my point. Everything you're saying, I'm agreeing with. And what I've said multiple times is that when that doesn't happen, the person that's supposed to actually enforce those rules and protocols doesn't follow them. And that is the problem. But for some reason, everyone's going around that part. But I'm going to leave it alone. I won't bring it up ever again. I just wanted to make sure that I was able to state that I've, for the last time, put it on the table. And this is the response. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
And they don't know. Next meeting, we're going to bring up us doing OT work, because that's not even our contract either. I think I'm playing with them. Hey, how you going? How's Buck? Have a good day. What's up?
I know it's not helpful when you have 10 people jump in and try to, like...
I know. And listen, if it came out,
But I just wanted to like get an idea like what you were looking for. Meaning like, were you looking for to be heard? Were you looking for like, yes, we understand that Jenny felt like that she remembered another protocol? Or like, what were you looking for?
she's not following the protocol. That's my issue. And if you're going to write us up or tell us we have to follow protocol, then who's holding you accountable to follow the rules? That's my issue. And he's trying to act like we didn't. You ask every rehab attendant separately, they'll tell you the same thing I'm saying. So stop playing in my face like I'm stupid. I'm not dumb. And just because you don't like me telling you a fact, because we didn't have to get to this point, if you would have left me alone when I first came to you as a human being, then you pushed me to this point where now I have to defend myself and point out every little thing that you're not doing because you have control over my life. And here, no, and here they do, because if I want to transfer somewhere, you've seen my employee file. And most of that stuff is made up because they're mad, and I can prove it. That's why I started doing what I was doing to prove what's going on around here. And they still acting like I'm not documenting everything. So the whole world's going to know you're a liar, sir, when we go to court, because we're going now. And it has nothing to do with you guys, because, and I feel bad, I'm sorry, because you, Laura, Eugene, James end up entangled in this shit because you're just doing your job. And you and Laura are going above and beyond doing their jobs because the rest of them act like this shit's not going on. And y'all are the only two that are actually outwardly recognizing it and trying to fix it. And it's not your job or your place to do. Because under our contract, we're not even under OTs. We're strictly under PT. So what happens when I bring that up, that they've been breaking the contract having us do OT work for 13 years? That's a problem. They know that, right? That's all I'm saying, but nobody's listening to me, so.
Yeah, and that's what, like, I didn't want you to leave there thinking, like.
No, I know you hear it. I know she hears it. Because your actions, the way that you interact, the way that you do your job, shows it. Because every time one of us says something to you guys, you go, well, you know what? I'm not sure, but let me see. You say something to them, whether they look at it or not, nope, you're not even acting like you're hearing it. You could act like you hear what I'm saying and completely ignore it. You don't even want to do that. And that's it. You guys show, because when we tell you something and then you see it, you say, oh, you know what? Alright, cool. Blah, blah. But they don't see it. And I get it. They don't like where it's coming from. That's fine. Okay. But.
Well, yeah, and this is something, like, not just me, but other people have thought over time too. It's like, man, Maddie has great points, but the delivery, unfortunately, and we could talk ad nauseum about this. We don't have to right now, but like,
I agree with you, actually.
Yeah, but, and like, some of it is like everything I say. My delivery is not the best for those ears, right? So like, it goes on both sides, right?
This is what's going to happen.
Your delivery be better, yes, but also, even if it was,
but this is what's going to happen.
Yeah,
when everything is said and done, and everything goes on the table, because I've been documenting everything, because I didn't like what I was dealing with. So I'll be able to prove chronologically how my tone started and how it changed in real time. You'll hear me asking, pleading, begging. You'll even hear me crying about what was going on here like a little fucking bitch. And you're going to hear the anger side of it and blah, blah. You're going to hear every step of the way. Everything's documented. So like I say, I understand how it sounds and looks in the moment, especially for people that aren't attached to it, because they don't have to deal with it. But I made sure that when I get the opportunity to tell my story, I'm going to be able to tell it in chronological order. That way, you'll be able to see and hear for yourself how everything went down, and you'll hear the same repeat. No, it's the first time I'm hearing about this. Oh, we didn't know. Oh no, okay. That's why I ask questions, document. That's cool. Do what you want to do. I got all day. I have resolve. That's the one thing encoded into my DNA. I've been taking a beat for generations. You think this shit hurts? It don't bother me. It's just that now I'm going to be arrogant. I'm going to be an asshole about it because you won't stop playing in my face. I'm damn near a 50-year-old man. Do they think it's actually okay? I got grandkids.
I know, and I don't like seeing you walking around frustrated all day either. I know that sometimes I am too.
If you notice, when I'm working, ask the patients or the therapist how I interact with them. And even with them, because if you notice, can't not one of them, Jenny, John, or Debbie ever tell you that I've told them I wouldn't do something, or that I've ever spoken to them in a disrespectful manner. But we all, and I have documentation of Kitty telling James, actually James, Eugene, and John. He told John to meet. No, I'm not doing that. And John got mad and meeting's over. Blah. So he can disrespect you anytime, tell you what he's not going to do that's in his contract. I don't do any of that, but you act like I'm the problem. Okay, sir, that makes sense. And again, they can say whatever they want to say, create whatever narrative. Every dog has its day. And my narrative is going to be spelled out in ones and zeros. That's data. And I'm sorry you have to deal with this bullshit. I am. But it's not your fault. It's not. And I know you've been more than patient.
I'm asking just as a friend. I don't want you to walk out of that room and like...
No, honestly, to be honest with you.
I know the frustration's there. It's not like you can just...
No, be honest with you. Like, once like what we're doing right now, I'm telling you, I'm not... When I used to be bothered and walk around frustrated was because I cared, because I used to have a relationship, and I respected certain individuals. We're past that point of the respect, because I see you're doubling down on your negative behavior no matter what anyone says to you. So if you can't acknowledge or see what you're doing, then it's alright. I'm emotionally over that, but I'm going to deal with it until the conclusion of it. Because if you and Laura can do the job, follow the rules, check us when we don't follow the rules without being rude, nasty, or anything else, and do it in a way that then maybe you two should be doing everything, because you're doing it already. And that's the consensus of the staff on the floor in the department. You're welcome. No, thank you, actually. Smile.
I do want to see though.
This is so uncomfortable.
Why are you uncomfortable?
That's him right here. That's him right here. That's the south side. So I'm supposed to answer.
Yes, we had. It's in one of our watch comms. So I'm gonna find it because we've had the conversation how many times. It's in one of our minute joints.
I know this is not the time, but like, you want to come pick your gifts?
Yeah. But why are you? Don't feel uncomfortable. I just got done talking to Wishbone because she put me to the side.
I just wanted I wanted you to understand that, like, as someone who is trying to hear you.
Laura.
Okay, you get it.
It ain't cheap, and it ain't heavy.
Okay.
And I understand what y'all are trying to do. That's why I just told her.
Okay.
And I let her know. But we had this conversation before. I don't ever want you to feel like it's you. We've had our conversation, our differences.
That energy makes me, my heart beat. Like,
but the energy's not, yeah. The energy's
your
not.
neck is very bad.
The energy's not for you or Heather. But you see what they do. And they try to act like it doesn't happen and they're not doing it. Dude, I'm damn near, I'm 48. I got 2 grandkids.
48?
Yeah. I got 2 grandkids. I got a 31-year-old whole adult. Like, I have grown ass kids. I done been around the block 100 times. I done walked through the gates of hell. I done hit rock bottom and bounced back from that. There ain't nothing that you getting past me. I'm not stupid. But anytime I say something because they don't want to hear it, because they don't like where it's coming from, and then I understand that they don't like my delivery, right? But like I just told Westcom, and Elliot can attest to this, when everything is said and done, and I finally get my day to get everything on the table, in front of people that can actually come in here and fix this shit, the state, everything I've documented is going to be in chronological order. And they're going to be able to hear it and see it in real time. So they'll hear how I sat in that office at first and was like, you know, guys, I could be wrong, but this is what I feel like's happening. And they can hear the gaslighting. And then you'll hear me go every meeting after meeting. And then you can see how I progressively go from telling and saying and asking, crying, because I don't know how to fix what I'm fixing, and I'm asking people to meet me halfway, so I sound like a complete fucking punk, to then progressively, now I'm mad, and now I'm pushing back. You know what I mean? No, I'm not mad anymore. When I tell you, I'm going to tell you why I was mad before. Well, I told you this, because of how I felt about my relationships with John and all these things, so it's like, we couldn't speak to each other, because I came to you first, man to man, to talk, and then you continue to do these things and act like you're not doing it. And with you and Westcom, you can play devil's advocate. You think him and Fiona heard what y'all said when you were like, well, we did actually agree So it's like you're trying to say that, well, that the conversation was had in one of the huddles.
I was trying to ask like all the rehab attendants like if they knew that, and nobody was saying a word, and that's what I don't like about our meeting, because it seems like everyone else is so uncomfortable that they're not even speaking up. It's like,
Well, that's why.
difficult.
That's why.